PhDs of Reddit. What is a dumbed down summary of your thesis? Sometimes, if you shine a really bright light at a wall, you can discover dark matter. But probably not. Edit. For all the people who were interested in the full paper, I am still writing it. But here is a Nature article, July 15, which contains a link to a Phys Letters B journal article about the first generation of the experiment with a lot more science and technical details. Computers are not as good as doctors at keeping preterm babies alive. Old people know walk good because spine goo went kaput. Metals conduct. Plastics don't. We make plastic conduct. Use for biosensors. It is important train wheels around. The tiny bacteria in your tummy are, maybe, hijacking your brain. If they like meat, you might feel like eating meat. Sometimes, they can make you sad and anxious. But worry not, my friend. If they are messing too much with you, we can ask a healthy folk to poop in a bottle and make medicine for you out of it. Master's thesis, but I wanted to participate, okay. Some breast cancer cells travel through the body and allocate in bones. These cells may remain asleep for multiple years, helping them hide from chemotherapy until they start growing again. I found a protein that is an important regulator of this asleep or awake behavior. Edit. Row. Thank you very much for your interest in my work. I've got a bunch of replies and PMs. Right now I'm on mobile, but I'll try to respond as soon as I can when I'm back on my computer. Good teachers don't do what you tell them to do. Edit. I'm defending on the 19th of July, so after it's all done, I'd be happy to post a link. The short version is, good teachers have a pedagogical philosophy that they follow. It acts as an anchor in times of stress and a foundation when they need to learn new things. The actual subject of my dissertation is master teachers who remain relatively unfazed by external mandates. Basically, we know a lot about teachers who burn out, but not very much about teachers who don't. Master teachers who don't burn out tend to have a pedagogical philosophy they follow, and they are often non-compliant about external mandates, to whatever extent they can be, that they feel are not best for kids. For example, in the teachers I studied, there was a lot of pushback about district math curriculum, and most teachers simply didn't use it unless they were being observed. I would, however, be happy to answer questions on Reddit right now. You know 3D printing? Same concept, but with welding. You talk to the computer, and it makes a 3D model of the thing you described, under the conditions of a staged presentation. If you know what exactly to describe. If I'm lucky today, that babies who are born to mothers with significant and treated postnatal depression are likely to experience mental health issues. Nanoparticles are weird and I accidentally made a bomb and electrocuted myself. Measuring air pollution is expensive, so we don't do it everywhere. Now it's getting cheaper, so we try to do it in more places. But the quality of the measurement isn't very good. Dirt is very complex, and after 300 years we don't really know what's going on in its formation. However, that formation is very important. Edit. For all of those asking, I am on my phone and cannot see the papers here. But you can look up the self-assembly of natural organic matter in soils. That is what I studied, and there are numerous models. My prediction is that it followed the Yen model of asphaltenes and resina found in the petroleum field. Another great system we will not know much about due to its complexity. Some species are hard to monitor, yet we use untrained volunteers to survey them. Can we simulate their mistakes and account for the biases in later data analysis? Yes, we can. Alternative title: The Sims Ecology DLC. We can perform web searches faster if we use quantum particles to analyze all websites simultaneously. But this fails as soon as we try and look at the results. Your cells do stuff that gives you slightly worse artery plaque. Our relationship to historical events is always in motion, and each generation chooses favorite legends, events, and heroes that reflect modern values. This happens almost automatically, whether we intend it to or not. We shouldn't necessarily think about this transition as a loss. Rather, we gain something entirely new through this synthesis of old and new. This continuous reinvention of the past is a contributor to social change. Edited for spelling. We're going to get eaten by bacteria unless we make viruses eat the bacteria. So we have to put viruses in all our food. The risk of negative consequences is relatively small. I wrote some code and some maths to try and predict football scores. When people get good SX ed, they end up SX educating their friends and dispelling harmful SX myths that our current bad system propagates. I cured Alzheimer's disease in mice. That we gave them Alzheimer's disease. Edit. To people that asked. AP SWEP ES1D9 was the model. This was like 9 years ago in a distant galaxy and I left the field of AD, so I do not have current info. Families who communicate with children about SX create adults with less SX anxiety. Being pessimistic is more helpful if tea is bad. The recent popularity of yeah dystopia is actually about hope, not hopelessness. Students don't think social media is connected to their college writing. Social media is connected to their college writing. Today's new versions of fairy tales show how we should all work together to solve our problems. Edit. Thanks everyone for your interest in my work. It's been fun answering your questions and engaging in conversations about a project I thoroughly enjoyed. If you have access to ProQuest Theses and Dissertation database, my project will be on there by the end of August-ish. It's not an open database to everyone or else I would post a link. Select NBA teams use social media differently. Edit. This gained a lot of traction. Many of you have asked me for the study. If you PM me your email address, I'll send it to you. If we are going to start 3D printing buildings, we want to make damn sure the building's print instructions are as bug-free as possible before we smack the print button. Double quote. I should be writing. We do democracy poorly. You can be democratic by using random selection in politics, just like with criminal juries. And everyone can learn and do the job, on the job. People that take care of sick people get tired of taking care of sick people. If you make a book scannable and buyable from real books, bookstores won't die and you can sell twice as many books. Certain shapes can travel over Mach 10. Most shapes destroy themselves at this speed. Harmonics are a bitch. Can you make boy mosquito unattractive to girl mosquito to avoid more mosquito babies? Yes. Birds yell at each other. If a bird yells at another bird, the second bird gets angry, but not angry enough to make their hormones change. Birds from different neighborhoods hate their neighbors more than strangers. We pretty much knew all of this in some form or another, but I showed it all happens for females, too. TV that claims to be educational has been getting worse for the last 30 years, and some of it is just a big lie. Asking juries made of average Joes to understand financial cases that take years of schooling for people to understand is a joke, and we should elect specialized juries on certain kinds of cases. If you learn to not be so damn hard on yourself inside your head, you'll probably be more confident and actually finish stuff. When puppies make puppy friends, they are more patient adult puppers. Theory that predicts criminal offending also predicts victimization. Block copolymers form cool nanostructures. If you are careful, you can destroy only part of these structures and fill them with metal to make metal nanostructures. If you're really careful, you can do that twice to make 2 metal nanostructures. NPCs. WTF. Basically a study of what types of non-player characters, NPCs, that are found in various genres of games. How players identify which type of NPC they've found, and how each type of NPC ties into the game experience. Cancer cells love sugar. Make them resistant to chemo. They like fat or protein more. 6 years of my life in 2 sentences. Edit. Happy to answer questions if anyone has them. People who beat their children are more aggressive than people who don't. If you belong to a group that is perceived by society to perform poorly in a certain skill, there will be psychological factors that will further hinder your performance in that skill. Brain thinks movies are real.